Hi, Andre. Hope you're well. Just wanted to first ask you about Saturday's opponent, Spurs. They're having a really strong season. A couple of results maybe haven't gone their way recently, but what are you expecting from them as a team? It's a strong squad that has also, to be fair, been slightly affected by the Asian Cup as well.
No, I totally agree with you. They're having a great season. I've seen many of their games and play a little bit different than they've done before, but a very tactical and very dynamic football team. So with individual good players. So I'm definitely expecting a tough game here on Saturday. So yeah.
Do you enjoy as well that teams are coming to the Joy Stadium and not just the Joy, but going away to other sort of big teams and really having a go now, rather than maybe sort of just trying to sit back and preserve a lead? They're really sort of taking the game to teams, which I assume is quite enjoyable as a manager to have that challenge.
Yeah, I don't know what I should answer to that. I think that I think all teams, it's shown in the last week's results also, that I think all teams, no matter if they're playing home and away, is actually giving it a try. Even that means that they are sitting back and working on counter attacks, or they play a high press. So I think that all teams actually in this league is going into each game and thinking, how can we win there and get a point? So different ways, but I wouldn't say that I prefer anyone more than the other one.
Just wanted to ask about Grace Clinton as well. She obviously didn't quite make the squad against Aston Villa. But how's she done this week, and is there a chance she could be involved this weekend?
No, she's not going to be involved. She's still not training with the team. We take it week by week, but she's not ready for the weekend.
Is it just like a small muscle injury or anything specific?
No, it's a lower body injury, but we are assessing from week to week, so it's difficult to say how far. It depends on how Ria is doing. So hopefully we see her soon back on the field, but I can't say more than that at the moment.
Fingers crossed. And the rest of the squad all looking okay compared to how they were last week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a shorter turnaround from the weekend. So yeah, it's been a good session today. Fantastic weather and all smiling. So that was a great day.
You've maybe answered my next question. I was going to ask how the team have reacted following the Villa game at the weekend, but obviously positive and sort of ready to go for the weekend.
Yeah, I think this team is so dedicated to winning, and they're so dedicated to how the season has been. So not really used to performance that we don't play as good as we hoped and not getting the result we hoped for. But in the end of the day, I think that's a little bit coming back to what you said earlier, that the league is challenging. You can't get anything for granted. So if you're a little bit late in the defending, we are making some challenging passes in the build-up and having some problem in that. The opponent is too good, and I think that's what we were challenged last week, and should be happy from 1 point because the first half. But at the same time, it's also giving us a feeling that we need to take each game as a final for us, and if we can do that, we know what kind of level we have in us. So it was a disappointing group, but at the same time very determined that we know we can do so much better than we did, especially in the first half.
And just finally, Saturday's also our City in the Community matchday takeover, which obviously the focus is on the game, getting the points, but a really nice opportunity to celebrate all the work that the club's charity do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, fantastic, definitely. I've been visiting a couple of those, and I say it's a fantastic job the club is doing and supporting so many different activities in the city. So really looking forward to have them on the field, on
Thanks,
the game.
Andre.
Hi, Andre. Where do you think you need to improve the most after last weekend?
Yeah, I think we were not good enough on the ball, I would say. I think that we gave the ball, we were a little bit too rushed, especially in first half, where it's almost like Aston Villa was dictating where we should play, and that we can do better. We were a little bit too forced in that. So that is one thing. We also need to be a little bit more determined on how we are defending. We were also giving them a little bit too much time on the ball. So I think that there is parts in all of us and in all parts of the game. Second half was better, but I think it's more like going back to what we have done before, being controlled with the ball, but we should also punish the opponent when we have possibility, getting more players higher up, which I don't think we have in first half. But we talked a lot about it this week, and I'm pretty sure that we're in a good way.
You've had such a big lead for such a long time that there's almost this assumption from the outside that you're going to go on and win the title. But do you need to sort of stop sometimes and think, this is a team that finished fourth last season, not won the title for 10 years? You know, how big an achievement would it be if you could get the 3 wins from the last 5 games that you need to win the WSL?
I think it will be, of course, be a fantastic thing for the club, for the players, and for me also, of course. And again, we have done a fantastic season. Played great football, competed in all games in a very good way, done a lot of good things. But we also know that, like I said earlier, that the league is challenging. So if you're not present in each game from the first minute, the opponent is too good, no matter who you're playing. And I think we have been very good in that. This was actually the first time I think we were not really on that level. All the other games has been like that. So for us, it's going back to, no matter what happens in 5 games and whatever, we need to make sure that we win our games, and starting on Saturday, and thinking of that is a final for us, to having the mentality of this is something that we really, really are focusing on. Then next week come next game, but this is just about Tottenham and nothing else, and not about the league. It's about Tottenham.
The spirit's been so good all season. What's the mood like amongst the players? Do you sense that excitement of what they could go on and achieve in the next few weeks, or are they all very calm, a bit like yourself, and very composed about where they're at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I think that there is obviously a mix of feelings. I think that inside of our group, it's a very calm and group that is definitely enjoying the situation we are at the moment. But it's also a determined group that is getting media talking about it and just making sure that we handle that in a good way. That's the most important thing, and I think we're doing that in a good way at the moment. But at the same time, we always need to go back of how can we do good performance, because we're not getting anything for granted, and especially not in the last 5 games.
And just finally from me, it's been a real collective effort, hasn't it, all season? I know you didn't score last weekend, but you were scoring 4s, 5s and 6s in the games before that, and the goals were coming from every area of the team. How pleasing has that been that every single player in an attacking sense has played their part this season?
Yeah, but that's something that we have talked about the whole season, of being able to score in different ways, and I think that's one of our key factors so far, that we have different kind of players, and we can use them in different ways also. We talk about set plays, counter attacks, longer attacks, crosses, central combinations. We can score in different ways, and it gives the players a good feeling and confidence that no matter what, we will, even though that we are struggling like the last game, we're actually really close in the end of the game anyway to get 3 points. So it gives a confidence.
Thanks, Andre. Good luck on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to Zoom now. We'll start with Emma.
Hey, Andre. Just following on what you were saying about the noise from the outside of the media, is that a distraction no matter how much you try and block that out?
So far, no distraction, I would say. I don't know how much our players are reading, and of course, I'm fully aware that they are reading things. They are getting friends that is talking to them and saying all different things about what great possibilities we have. But inside of our group, which is a very tight group, we don't speak that much about it, and I haven't seen any players being stressed or anything about it. So far it's pretty calm, but it's also for us to this is what we want. It's like we can't be nervous or stressed by this, because this is everybody's fighting from the first day when we gathered to be able to win the league, and now we are in a great position in the league, and then handling that pressure in a good way, it has to be something that we need to deal with.
Has a crucial part of the success this season been keeping Viv Miedemar fit? Because obviously last season City lost lots of key players, but Miedemar being one of them, and she seems like she's been really integral this season.
Yeah, I think she has definitely had a fantastic season so far, and for her, of course, and for all players, we need these players fit. It's easier when we don't play that many games, so of course we can adjust during the weekends. We don't need to push them too much if they are not 100% fit, and at the same time, if we feel that she's not ready or not performing, we can definitely use some other player because we have a good squad. So absolutely I agree. She has had a fantastic season, and everything is about keeping her healthy.
I'm sure you get asked this every week, but is there any update on Khadija Shaw's contract extension negotiations?
Yeah, I get that question quite often. No, nothing for me. Therese needs to be the one that is answering that.
Are you still confident as her manager that she wants to stay at City for the long term?
I know that she likes us and she likes to play with us, but how they are going with the contract discussion about the future, I'm not that involved in that, so that has to be Therese's table.
Thanks, Andre. All the best. See you Saturday.
Thank you.